Islam, and others. What you find is almost universal objection and disgust and a feeling of immorality in terms of usury. When we talked about usury in the United States, what we usually talked about were thugs, gangsters working on street corners who lent out money at outrageously high interest rates to workers, and when that money was not repaid back at the interest rates asked for, the thugs would beat the workers up. In fact, I'm thinking now about the first movie of Rocky. Mr. President, I don't know if you saw the first movie of Rocky with Sylvester Stallone. And before Rocky became a successful fighter and the heavyweight champ of the world in the movie, that's what he was. Big, tough guy, and he beat up people who did not pay back the gangsters the high interest rates that they were asking. Well, the world has changed. And now the people who are committing usury are not the gangsters on street corners all over America. Their place has been taken by the CEOs of Wall Street financial institutions who are lending out money to desperate Americans at 25 or 30% interest rates. That, my friends, is called usury, according to every religion on earth. That is immoral. What you're doing is going up to people who are desperate, people who are hurting, and you're saying, you desperately need money, we're going to give you money, but there's a string attached. You're going to be charged an outrageous amount of interest on that money. So here's the irony. The people who are hurting the most pay the highest interest rates. The people who need the money the least are paying the lowest interest rates. So the Fed lent out billions and billions of dollars to the largest financial institutions of the General Electric, often at less than 1%. That's American taxpayer money. Large corporations, less than 1%. But if you are a worker today and you're having hard times, maybe you're unemployed, you're going to pay 25 or 30% interest rates on your credit, and sometimes more. You have this payday lending where people are paid outrageous sums of money. I think that's immoral. I think we have got to stop that. And it disturbs me very much that, especially at a time when we bailed out these large financial institutions, that they are still able to charge our people 25 or 30%. People who bail them out get hit the second time around by having to pay 25, 30% interest rates. And right now, it's not even 25 or 30%. As a matter of fact, the 10th largest credit card issuer in this country, an entity called Premier Bank, is now offering a credit card with a 79.9% interest rate and a $300 credit limit. What do we make of that? 10th largest credit card issuer in this country charging 79% interest rates, and we allow that to go on? These are crooks. These are no different than the gangsters who beat up people on street corners when they didn't get payment back, except now the gangsters are wearing three-piece suits and sitting in some fancy suite on Wall Street. Mr. President, today over 1/4 of all credit card holders in this country are now paying interest rates above 20%, and as I indicated, as high as 79%. Mr. President, let's be clear. When credit card companies charge over 20% interest on credit cards, they are not engaged in the business of making credit available. What they are involved in is extortion and loan sharking. Nothing essentially different than gangsters, except they dress a lot better. That's all it is. It's thievery, and we tolerate it. And we bail them out. And, Mr. President, it's interesting in terms of these high interest rates, because for many, many years we have had states, including the state of Vermont, saying that you're not going to charge outrageously high interest rates. For example, between establishing a usury law is not a radical concept, which is what we've got to move at. We've got to put a cap on interest rates. In fact, between 1978 and today, over 20 states in America had laws capping credit card interest rates. In Alabama, the legal maximum rate of interest is 8%. In Alaska, it's 10.5%. Arizona, 10%. Idaho, 12%. Kansas, 15%. State of Vermont, my own state, the legal maximum rate of interest is 12%. But what happened if all of those state interest cap rates disappeared under the 1978 U.S. Supreme Court decision known as the Marquette case, which allowed banks to charge whatever interest rates they wanted if they moved to a state without an interest rate like South Dakota or Delaware. So all these companies moved to South Dakota, they moved to Delaware, no interest rates, and they charged the people in Vermont or Hawaii or any place else 25 or 30% interest rates. So